The greatest Mortal Kombat 1 player in the world just revealed their tier list, and it's eye-opening. Very interesting to be sure, because recently Sonicfox won the first major Mortal Kombat 1 tournament using a character that nobody thought was top 5, so impressive stuff right there. It already shows you this player can see things that others can't, and that's why it's so important that we review this tier list. But then on top of that, I feel vindicated, because a lot of stuff on this tier list is what I've been saying for months, and people were clowning on me everywhere saying I'm dumb, don't know what I'm talking about. Well, guess what? The current best player in the world agrees with me. However, that being said, there are some parts of this tier list that did surprise me, so it's really interesting all around. For anyone who might be interested, I made a tier list a couple days ago ranking the costumes in Mortal Kombat 1 from best to worst. I think it's an interesting watch, especially if you're into fashion or just game design, maybe character design. I say give it a look. But alright, without any further ado, let's begin. And there's one thing I want you to notice right away about this tier list. No character is below A+. Or in other words, according to Sonicfox, no character in this game is bad. In fact, every character in this game is great. That's what A+ means. And guess what? That's what I've been saying for weeks now. Even the bottom tier character in Mortal Kombat 1 is still not a bad character. They are still great, because every character in this game is really solid, especially when you combine them with the right cameo partner. And that's the second thing to keep in mind. When Sonicfox made this tier list, they made sure to mention several times that this tier list accounts for a good cameo partner plus the character, not just the character solo, so keep that in mind. But alright, now it's time to reveal the bottom row. That's right, I'm going to do it one tier at a time to keep things interesting. So first up, we have A tier, and look at this. Sub-Zero is not the worst character in the game. Guess who's been saying that for weeks now? Yep, it's ya boy, it's me. According to Sonicfox, the worst character in the game is Scorpion, but once again, he's still A+ tier, so keep that in mind. Scorpion can still get the job done. He's still a great character, just the least great. And in case you're wondering why, it's the Cyrax nerf, because Scorpion's best strength was really good chip damage, but he needed Cyrax to do that consistently, and Cyrax got nerfed, so you can't do that anymore as often. And of course, in front of Scorpion is Sub-Zero, but once again, he's an A+ tier, so this character is great, alright? You can't keep pretending this character is why you're losing. But even so, it's pretty sad how the two fan-favorite characters in Mortal Kombat 1 are the worst. That definitely should be fixed, I think, NetherRealm. Normally, I would never advocate for buffing a character based on their popularity, but come on, it's Sub-Zero and Scorpion. They kinda should be killing it in every game, because everyone loves them. It's why they buy the game. Most players buy the game for Sub-Zero or Scorpion. But next up, let's talk about Baraka. Very similar to Scorpion, the Cyrax nerf was a big deal for this guy, but then on top of that, his damage got nerfed pretty bad too. And that's a big deal because those two things were the main reason everyone played Baraka, right? His damage was really good, and Cyrax kept him safe every single time, and now those are both gone. But then we have Mileena, and this kind of shocked me because right now, Mileena is like the death dealer in Mortal Kombat 1. She is the highest damage character when it comes to 1 bar of meter. She's insane. But then again, her mix-ups aren't that great, and she has pretty much no zoning to speak of, so I understand why against a lot of characters, she doesn't have a winning matchup. So her placement here kind of makes sense, but I'm still a bit surprised. And then we have Natara. Let's get one thing clear. Her buff is the reason why she's at the front of A tier. Before that, she was not quite as good, but her health got buffed and her vampire blood sacrifice got made better too. Alright, but I don't want to spend too much time talking about every single character. Instead, I just want to point out the things that surprised me or the things that I feel validated about. Like, ha, I've been saying that for weeks and everyone said I was wrong. So next up, it's time for S tier. Wabow! First off, notice this. S tier is bigger than A+ tier, which means more characters in this game are amazing than great, which I think is fantastic and cause for celebration. NetherRealm made a game where the best player in the world believes there are more characters that are amazing than are great. That's awesome. I guess the first thing that surprises me about this tier is putting Rain so far at the end, because Sonicfox won a major tournament with this character, so they might be downplaying their boy just a little bit to look even cooler than they already are. In other words, not only did Sonicfox win the first major tournament, but they also did it with a character at the very end of S tier. I don't know if I agree with this because Rain's move list is massive, and as a result, he has a tool to counter pretty much every character in the game, but then again, I'm not a pro player like Sonicfox, so let's keep looking. Reptile baby right in the middle. That's kind of where I see Reptile being, because even though he's a bit slow, he also has one of the best projectiles in the entire game. He's got good whiff punishes and can turn invisible without having to spend meter. Ooh, but then we have Shao Kahn. My buddy has been playing this character since day one and just getting better and better, so I can tell you firsthand that this character is a whiff punish monster. Not only is his standing 2 really quick and has good range, but just General Shao is faster than you would think with his movement. The guy has shockingly good footsies despite being so massive. And on top of that, with the right cameo, he's getting really good damage off every single hit. So I think General Shao is good and has potential. Everyone else kept acting like he was bad. I never thought General Shao was bad. Next up, let's talk Omni-Man. This guy has the best meterless damage in the game. Some people argue Kenshi, but here's the thing. The spirit counts as a cameo. And I don't mean figuratively. He literally drains the cameo meter and you can control him with the cameo button. So that character is a cameo. So in my opinion, Omni-Man still has the best meterless damage in the game. He gets 43% for no meter and no cameo. That's really good and it's from mid-screen. And for the cherry on top, he ignores neutral. Omni-Man can go from full screen to right in your face instantly. And with the cameo, it's completely safe. So yeah, he's got a lot of good ways to get in and close that gap. Okay, but next up we have the most shocking placement in the entire tier list in my personal opinion. Tanya being this far in front is shocking to me because I've seen top players like Dragon try using Tanya and they were not winning tournaments. Like it just wasn't happening. So maybe those great players just haven't figured out what makes Tanya really good and only Sonicfox can see the truth. But yeah, this placement is shocking to me, but I trust the word of Sonicfox. Ooh, but then we have Katana. Now keep one thing in mind. Sonicfox did say that once the cameo is gone, Katana becomes a really weak character. However, in the hands of a decent player, that shouldn't be a big deal because you can manage your cameo partner to make sure that they're never actually gone, right? And in case you're curious, Goro is the best cameo partner for Katana according to Sonicfox. I thought it would be Sub-Zero because he can freeze the opponent and then Katana can set up her trap and then knock the opponent into the trap and it's all one long combo that does like 43-45%. But the reason Goro is so strong is because Katana can do her metered wake up attack to get armor and then Goro can either keep it safe or get a full combo off of it. So that is pretty strong. Real quick, a moment of silence for Kung Lao players. It turns out that you were not downplaying the character and he is actually lacking compared to some. Alright, but now it's time for the final tier, S+, baby, the best of the best. And take note of how many characters are up here. Yeah, these characters are strong in Mortal Kombat 1. I mean the entire roster. Every character in this game is either A+ or above, and even the top row has a lot of characters in it. First up, we have Shang Tsung. Not really a surprise. The man has godlike keep away and his combo damage can be great, and he can also become the opponent. So if you're playing Kenshi, now he's playing Kenshi. Then we have Reiko, the best command grab in the game. It leads to a ton of damage even after the nerfs, and his keep away is also shockingly good. Fire God Liu Kang. This placement is interesting because most would argue that Liu Kang is just good and not great, but according to Sonicfox, one of the best characters. Garrus. Let's talk about Garrus, one of the most complicated characters in the game, because even though Kenshi has some hard execution, I would argue that Garrus has more stuff to worry about and keep track of. And that's why for me personally, I think Garrus is still more complicated than Kenshi, but I digress. According to Sonicfox, he's actually a really good character. But then to no one's surprise, we have Ashra. Pretty much everybody would tell you Ashra is top 10 or top 7, and according to Sonicfox, this character is top 5. I believe it, because just like Omni-Man, she can ignore keep away, ignore neutral, she's safe on everything, she wields a sword that has a disjointed hitbox, and her damage is also good. But then we have Raiden, and this is also a very shocking decision for me. I can't believe that Raiden, after all the nerfs, is still a top 5 character. That is mind-blowing to me. Because for anyone not aware, Raiden's main draw when the game first came out was his crazy high damage. The man got 50% with 1 bar of meter. However, even so, every Raiden player was downplaying this character and saying, well, he has no mix-up, so it's fair, right? He has to punish you, otherwise he gets no damage at all. So now fast forward to weeks later, after the damage was nerfed and taken away, this character is still apparently really good, according to the best player in the game currently. And I'll be honest, I'm not sure exactly why. I watched the entire video and Sonicfox did explain why some characters were very good, but I can't recall what they said about Raiden, so I'm just not sure why this character is still great. It could be that players found new ways to get damage with this character regardless, or it could be because he can ignore neutral with his teleport and his projectile is still really good. His chip damage move that knocks the opponent away is also fairly good. So when you combine all those things together, maybe the damage buff wasn't that big of a deal. Next up we have Johnny Cage. To nobody's surprise, I consider Johnny Cage the best character in the game, but that's mainly at the casual level, and when I say casual, don't be upset, okay? I just mean anybody who's not a pro competing at tournaments. At that level of play, anybody below the pro level, I think Johnny Cage could be considered the best character in the game. Oh, and also, I forgot about this. So at the very start of the video, Sonicfox had a tier list already done, and it looked completely different from this. Johnny Cage was at the very front of S+ tier, right? And then Sonicfox changed their mind. So you could still argue that Johnny Cage is pretty much the best character, but just not quite there. maybe. I worded that really weird. What I mean to say is, you could still argue that Johnny Cage is the best because even Sonicfox said they were at the start of the video. But then we have Sindel. The main reason that Sonicfox believes Sindel is this good is because her float, when combined with Kung Lao's hat, creates an impossible to block 50-50, which is already scary, but then on top of that, her instant air fireball, when combined with Kung Lao, gives her a guaranteed combo and the opponent can't avoid it at all. It's like impossible. If the opponent tries jumping, they get hit for a full combo. If they stay there and block, Sindel gets to move in and get guaranteed pressure. She just closes the gap for no reason. And that's the main reason Sonicfox considers Sindel so good. She plays keep away extremely well, she can control the opponent's cameo, she closes neutral really fast, and has a ton of tough to block mix-ups thanks to Kung Lao's low hat. And then finally, to no one's surprise, we have Kenshi. Best damage in the game, best pressure in the game, and some good keep away as well. For me personally, I think Kenshi is tied with Johnny Cage for first place, but this is Sonicfox's tier list, and they believe, as the best player in the world, that Kenshi is the best character. Alright everyone, and there you have it, the Mortal Kombat 1 tier list according to the best player in the game as of right now. As you all know, I love making these videos interactive, so make sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. How do you feel about your favorite character's placement on this tier list? And also, do you agree with Sonicfox or do you disagree? Grab that keyboard and make your voices heard, because like I keep saying, I read every single comment. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like down below, it helps my channel out a ton, and then finish that combo by subscribing and ringing that bell so you never miss any future videos. Make sure to come back next time, stay underdogs, and check out my comic book. The first fighting game community comic is here. 40 pages of action and concept art, plus free trading cards with every purchase. Join the revolution and support the FGC with top tier issue 1. Click the link below and order your copy today.